See, so we have 5:31. Looks like we have a quorum. Like to call the meeting to order, special meeting. Number two, it's public comment. Kel, do we have anyone in the lobby with their hand raised?
I don't see, sorry, I don't see anyone.
Got it. Well, it's a special meeting, so I wouldn't expect too much of a crowd. Approval, item 3, approval of minutes, October 30th, 2023. Would anyone like to make a motion?
Sure, I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes of the 30th.
Got it. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, George, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Beautiful. Moving on to item 4, architects update.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. I think this is more of a communal OPM architect and CM presentation because we've been working through, since we last met, we've been working through some remaining drawing updates, comment responses, etc. In preparation for our PCR meeting on Wednesday morning. So the technical purpose of this meeting is to approve the drawings, project manual, and cost estimate for the project. So with that, I know we have been updating the drawings and the specifications, and Adam has been kind enough to forward them to everybody on the building committee. So if there are any questions related to some of the items that we've updated, I'd be happy to answer them.
Adam, were you able to talk to Justin and the gang about what we discussed?
Yes, and maybe this is, I can jump in here just on just a couple of topics. Many of the tweaks have been items responding to either third-party code reviewers or things needed for the state review. For this group, the highlights that I would share, I'll just share my screen real quick to Sharon's point. The big changes between the last time we spoke and now were just some of the cleanup items on VE and things of that nature. So the item that Sharon was talking about was at the gymnasiums, for example, we eliminated, or I'm sorry, the SBC voted to eliminate the lion's share of the glazing there. And so what Tecton has done is reduce the square footage of the glazing and actually inset them in the alcoves. So that way it maintains the same aesthetic and same function, but it's just, you know, as you go through and you finalize the drawings, you set things differently. So what Sharon was referring to is the painted CMU at the gym corridors is correct and aligns with the VE. Tecton selected one of the locations for the graphic wall covering to be at these alcoves. And earlier today, Sharon commented that because that's going to be a sort of a punctured graphic, maybe that would just be a more simplified colored coding rather than the graphic wall protection, but things of that nature. And that will be updated once we get the comments back from the state as part of that reconciled drawing package, but shouldn't impact the review process and approval process for tonight. The only other one that I wanted to mention for this evening, just because it was a value engineering item that ultimately didn't get into the drawings, was at the stair tower. If you recall, there was a VE scope item to eliminate bottom section of glazing. When Tecton went in to actually detail that as part of the drawings, because of the way the stair framing worked and steel and whatnot, it would have actually cost more money in steel and other detailing to implement the value engineering than the $6,000 I think it was that was going to be saved. So that was the only other item that wasn't implemented.
The one thing that I will mention is that we did, sorry, Adam, to jump in here, but we did capture the value management item of the roof area at this stair. So that was the larger value management item of the two things there. So.
So, but otherwise, the documents are effectively the same as what we as a group reviewed at the last meeting.
Any other questions from the committee for Justin or anyone else?
My only comment would be that I appreciated working with Adam and Craig to finalize a few things on the instrumentation, and I appreciate that very much. I'm very satisfied with that.
Thanks, Woody. Do we want to have give Nick a chance to shine here, or are you guys doing a all on one thing, or you want to update us on anything, Nick? Cost estimate, budget, etc.
No, since we last met, I don't think we've made any edits or changes to the budget. Our team is nearly complete with our own bid documents that would accompany Justin's and Tim's to put out on the street. So a couple of minor changes that Adam mentioned a moment ago, and a couple others that we're working with Tim on, and we'll be buttoned up. So big hurdle this Wednesday to get passed with the state's review, and then after that we'll await their word to go out to bid. So it's an exciting time. We're getting close.
Do you want to mention just for a high level overview on the phase one package
Yeah.
bids that came in?
Yep. So we did. Thank you, Adam. Sorry, I forgot about that. We did take bids on the phase one early procurement packages. So the dedicated outdoor air unit that is situated inside the building, that came in, I believe, slightly under budget. The ductile iron pipe for the water service came in slightly over. It was pretty much washed. And then the electrical equipment, the generator and the switchgear and a couple of associated panels came in considerably under budget. Each of the DOAS unit and the switchgear are carrying a little bit longer lead time now than they were a month ago. So we're working on our end through that to see where that leaves us with options. We'd like to have the switchgear on site, about 4 months before the building needs to be complete. And we're getting close to that right now. So given where lead times have been over the last 18 months to 2 years, it'd be nice to start with a little more cushion than kind of already up against it in terms of getting that gear on site on time. And the DOAS unit as well is carrying a longer lead time than we heard, like I said, a month ago. So working through a couple options in terms of how to make that work. But no major cause for concern at this time. We conducted.
What was the overall under budget cost?
So let me pull that up. We were about $500,000 under our forecast. Now, within that $500,000 is some of the markups that go with it, CM contingency and fee and general conditions and things like that. So it's not quite $500,000, but it's certainly positive.
Terrific. Thank you.
Right. No, better than the other way around.
Yeah. I will admit we did take a very conservative approach to the budget for those items, just given that, we certainly didn't want to say it was going to be 800,000 and then take bids and say, okay, you were willing to accept the risk for 800,000. How's $1.5 million? Figured it'd be better to err on the side of caution. We probably went a little too heavy on the conservative side, but still, like you said, Graham, better problem to have than the other way around.
Yeah. Do you think there's some softening in the switchgear market, or is it just?
I think we expected a little bit bigger markup on the switchgear being a furniture only package, and I don't think the margins were really that good. In talking to two of the bidders that weren't the low bidder, they're not carrying a ton of money in those. We figured you'd probably see something in the 15 to 20% range, and that's not the case. So And there were, to get 5 bids on the electrical. So I do think there is, yeah, to your point though, I think there is, yeah, some softening in the market, and some of the private work is slowing down out there a little bit. So these jobs are becoming a little bit more attractive like they used to be.
Good, knock wood.
Since we're talking about it, one of the later agenda items is on schedule. One of the things that Nick and I are working through is what the contract document for that would look like, just because we have this sort of early procurement and it's kind of before the full-blown GMP. So we're ironing out what that would look like, and when we get to schedule, we can talk about whether or not what time that makes sense to bring it back in front of this group.
Yeah, thanks, Nick. So Adam, you want to, you have anything else? You want to go right on to number 5?
I think we can go right on to number 5.
Got it. The long-awaited review and approval of phase 2 documents. You want to recap it for us, Adam?
Yes. So in the link sent to the group, it was not part of the formal package just because there are security issues with trying to release full drawings as part of a public packet. But the SBC has received the full phase 2 general construction package, which includes the drawings, specifications, and project manual. Again, at the last meeting, the intent was to go through it in a more concentrated fashion, so that way at this meeting you could see if there's any other remaining questions. But otherwise, it's ultimately that draft motion that I put in place. Once, presuming the group approves, then we would take that approval along with the Board of Education's approval tomorrow night, in a similar fashion as we did with phase 1, to the state for our first plan conformance review or pre-bid conformance review meeting with the state on Wednesday of this week. It's likely that we'll need a follow-up meeting or at least some document back and forth with the state, but by and large, having this first meeting is key, so that way we can keep the process moving and ultimately get out to bid as soon as we can to help with maintain schedule.
Great. So I guess we're ready to read the motion. If everyone, does anyone have any questions for Adam about that, or are we ready to read the motion? Who wants to do the honors? You want to take a cut at it, Woody, since you've
Oh, well, sure.
Sure.
I'd
Okay.
like to make a motion to approve the phase 2 general construction package and authorize the project to proceed with state final plan review and subsequent bidding. The phase 2 package is comprised of the reconciled professional cost estimate and plans and project manual dated 10/20/23.
Thank you, Woody. Do we have a second? Sharon's got seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I
Aye. I believe that was unanimous. Excellent.
Perfect. Thank you.
What was so hard about
And
that, right?
if you do it for long enough and it's a good product, then it should be easy. Last topic is the schedule. So currently we have an SBC meeting scheduled for next week, Monday. It's a regular meeting on the 20th. In terms of the process for moving forward with the phase 1 package, we should keep some meeting this week. I don't know if we'll have everything ironed out by the 20th. Nick, I know we just had some big review meetings this morning. So I'm not sure if the 20th is enough time to have something ready for this group or if it should be pushed back to the last week. So this is a little bit back and forth working, but Nick, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it probably is a little tight, just given where the DOAS unit is at, looking at an alternate manufacturer to bring to the table and open that up for discussion. So I think trying to get that wrapped up by the end of this week and then get it onto an agenda for Monday would be cutting it pretty close.
So I'll be looking ahead and likely polling the group on something at the last week of November to have potentially some sort of motion to proceed with the phase one package. Also need to coordinate with Board of Selectmen on engaging in that size contract, is particularly with regard to just the notion that there is risk involved because you don't know what the whole project is yet, that you're ponying up money for, the components to be released. So, point being is that next week's meeting probably is premature, and we'll look to reschedule something the last week of November. Does anyone have conflicts just while we have the group on that last week?
Well, it's Thanksgiving, right? That'd be the Monday, potentially the Monday after Thanksgiving weekend.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, Monday after Thanksgiving.
Oh, what is that?
The Board of Selectmen meet on the following Monday, the 27th. So,
Right. So it'd probably have to be the next Board of Selectmen meeting thereafter, assuming this group were to approve on the.
no, the Board of
27th.
Selectmen have to approve what you do, right? So you want to make the motion so you can get it to the Board of Selectmen for the 27th.
Point being is I don't think we'll have the documents ready before Thanksgiving for this group to approve. Was Nick's point, is how I read that.
Got you.
So the initial wave won't be ready until the 27th, so it may have to be a subsequent Board of Selectmen.
I understand. Thank you for the clarification. Right.
Yeah, that makes sense. So I think it sounds like Monday would work for most people. If no one's traveling out of state.
Yeah. No, that's good.
Yeah, good for me.
Yep, perfect. Moving on to number 7, public comment. Anyone else out there?
I apologize.
Sorry.
Can you hear me?
Yep, you're on. Yep.
Yeah, I apologize. I'm calling from my car because I'm sitting outside town campus because I have another meeting at 6. So I just wanted to pipe in and again share that I'm very pleased with how the value engineering went, and thank you for passing the phase 2. And I look forward to hopefully voting on that with the Board of Ed tomorrow. Thank you. And happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Yes.
You too, Seth.
Thank you.
Great. I assume, okay, no one else, Raquel, no one else?
Yeah, no comments.
Beautiful. Okay. Number 8, remarks. Any further remarks or other items? I guess, other than happy Thanksgiving, everyone, would anyone like to make a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Do we have
I'll
a second?
Sure.
Any second? All in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Aye. Thanks, everybody. Great job.
Yep. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, happy
Happy
Thanksgiving.